Well, hello YouTube family. Today is day 4 of the 12 days of candy. And I have something special planned. Now, I've only made this one time before. In my 48 years of life, I've only made it one time before. And this isn't a typical candy. But let me tell you what smells like fall. Have you ever walked into those shops and they had the candied pecans or the candied nuts? Well, we're going to do some candied pecans because I just need some candied pecans. I just love them. A couple weeks ago, we did a little shopping trip to Branson. We didn't do any shows because of COVID. We try to stay in outdoor areas. And we only live about 3 hours from Branson. We could drive there and come back home in a day. It's tiring, but we can do it. But we went and we were careful. We wore masks. We had sanitizer. Like I said, we didn't do any shows. Normally we go up and we watch Christmas shows and we do all kinds of things, but we decided to stay in the outside areas to where we could do social distancing and not be too close up. But we went into the spud shop, and the first thing I smelled when I walk through that door was I smelt the candied nuts. And I looked over at my husband and I said, "Oh, I'm buying some candied nuts." And he said, "You don't even know if they've got candy nuts in here." I was like, "They got candy nuts." I'm a bloodhound when it comes to sweets. Sometimes I wish I was more of a bloodhound finding money. But anyway, so I hope you guys are all having a blessed, wonderful day. I am. Grammy Nene having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. And so anyway, when I come back, I'm going to have all of this stuff ready for you guys, and we're going to make some candied pecans. I'll be right back. I'm back, and I think I've got everything that we need. I had to get everything put out in order so that we're doing this in a fashionable thing. The last couple of weeks, I have had some problems with my eyes. I don't know if you guys can kind of tell that my eyes are a little bit puffy underneath them, but I've been suffering from tired eyes. And when I work on a computer all day long on my job, I'm a cataloger at a library, and I have to stare at a computer. I've actually been having to wear sunshades. After we get done with Christmas and everything, I'm going to try to go to the eye doctor and see about getting a pair of glasses that will help me with that. So I can't wear my reading glasses because it will pull the light into my eye. My eye's sensitive. But anyway, I didn't want to tell you that. But I'm going to try to be professional tonight. I've been a little bit lazy because my eyes have been giving me trouble, even in my editing of these videos. But I so love doing it for you guys. And I hope you guys enjoy it too. And I've had some wonderful comments. Wonderful, wonderful comments. And the comments have just blessed me. I love making friends. I love saying we're family. I love it. Because there's so many lonely people in the world. And we won't be lonely if we're friends. Now will we? Okay. So, what we're going to do is make these candied pecans. So what you're going to need, and I'm going to put my ingredients at the bottom in the description, is it's going to take 6 tablespoons of butter, 2 large egg whites, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 cups of granulated sugar, and 1 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and 4 cups of whole raw pecans. And it's going to be delicious. It's going to be delicious. Like I said, I've made this one time before. And these are dangerous in my house because I will eat the whole pan. I'm a nut eater anyway. And so you put some sugar on that and some cinnamon and you roast them babies in the oven. So I'm going to kind of go over, I'm using a recipe, like I said, because I've only used it one time. You're going to preheat your oven to 325 degrees. I've already done that. Okay. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to get you guys turned so you can get in the action and you can cook with me, okay? Let's cook together tonight. Let's be friends and get this and spend a little time together. Alrighty. So Hope you guys can see everything. We're going to do 6 tablespoons of this. So let me grab myself a knife. So, pretty much almost a whole stick of butter. You know it's good when you put almost a whole stick of butter on. So, I'm going to cut this up. And the recipe calls for you to melt the butter on the pan. So we're going to move that around. And we're going to get it in there. And we're going to put it in the oven. And it's going to melt. It's going to be melting that butter. Then I always like to take the little piece and wrap my butter back up in there. And I see where a lot of people save that piece of butter to wipe down pans and stuff. Okay. Once we've got that done, we've got that melting. Okay. It says in a large pan, in a large bowl, add the egg whites. I think I'm going to need a larger bowl than this. I forgot the pecans are going to go in this. So let me switch this out. Voila, it's like magic. It's like magic. I've been cooking so much cookies and all kinds of sweets and stuff like that and doing these candies for you guys. I have bowls all the time out. So we're in good shape. Okay, so now we're going to have to use the egg whites. So let me get over here. I want you guys to be able to see everything. So let's move over here. So my dream one day is to have a camera that's above and have a camera that's facing me. So that I'll be able to, we'll save that egg yolk because I have a little dog that will love to have that egg yolk. So that you guys can see what I'm doing from above and also see my face so that we can have a conversation and talk. I got so many wonderful comments over the last couple of days that I've enjoyed reading them. Every time I get one, I just automatically go to it and read it because there's a lady that commented and talked to me who's from Canada, and then there's one that's from Ohio, Anna. Shout out to you. And then I have a lady that made the crock pot candy, and their family loved it, and that just tickles me. When I show you something and you can take away from it, it's bonding. We're bonding. So we're going to take these egg whites and we're going to put them in this bowl. And we're going to take a whisk and we're going to whisk these until they're frothy. You also want to keep in mind that you want to make sure that butter doesn't burn. You want to just let it get good and melty. And it's doing fine in there. So we're about there. We're about at the frothy. We're about at the frothy stage. Let me get that up there where you can see it. And I'm new. I've only been doing YouTube probably for about 4 months. So I haven't got, I'm working with a tablet. And my husband did surprise me and buy me a tripod with a light on it. So I do have some professional equipment, but I would like to have so much more so that when I do these, that you guys can really get in there and see what's going on. You're not just leaning to the side. You're going to be over it. So, okay, so we've got that. So our instructions say in a large bowl with the egg whites, and we also have to have a fourth of a teaspoon, and I believe I've already put them in there. Okay, it's not going to be that much. We're just going to add a little bit of salt. That'll be what we need. And so let's whisk that. Just kind of mix that in there. Okay, so we did our egg whites. Then you add the salt. You whisk it until it's foamy for 30 seconds or so. I don't know if I did it for 30 seconds. Let's do a little bit more, okay? Get some of the aggressions of the day out. Okay. Cooking can be fun. It can be therapeutic. So, yeah, it's not going to hurt to get a little bit frothy. Okay, so after we do that, I think that's good and frothy. I'm not going to go much more than that. I don't want to start making egg whites. Okay, we're going to add in our sugar, which our sugar is 3/4 a cup, and I've measured it out. I'm using a 1/2 cup and a 3/4 cups, and that's our 3/4 cups of sugar. And then we have our 1 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and we're going to put that in there. And then I'm going to move these eggs out of the way because I am tempted to put them egg yolks in there. That's twice. My mind has said you're missing the egg yolks. And we're going to mix this all up. Oh my goodness, it's already smelling. It's already smelling like that shop, like the nut shops that you go in. I know that a lot of times, I don't know if you guys have Bass Pro Shops where you're at, but the Bass Pro Shops will have them. And as soon as you walk in Bass Pro Shop, it can be 14 miles in the back of a Bass Pro Shop, but you can smell them roasted nuts at the door. They sure do try to sell them to you. They know what they're doing. Okay, our butter is perfectly melted. We're going to take it out. Okay. And there's nothing like giving somebody a gift basket that has candy in it, but then just has that bag of roasted nuts, or sometimes a bag of the Chex Mix that's just delicious. It gives them something a little bit more savory, even though this is going to be sweet. Okay, now our instructions say, add the pecans into this, and then we have to coat them. So we have a four cups of raw pecans. You may say pecans, I say pecans. But we're all right. Nobody's wrong. You may say tomato, I may say tomato, but we're all right. That's the one thing my grandfather told me a long time ago. My grandfather was from St. Louis, and he would say, "Sure, kiddo, you want a soda pop?" And we call it Coke. And I remember the first time I said, "What is a soda pop?" And you can see we're getting those off. And he said, "You know, like a soda, like a Coca-Cola, Pepsi, something like that." Well, where I'm from, because I'm originally from Tennessee. I'm from a little town called Munford, Tennessee. It's not so little anymore. And I'm a transplant to Arkansas. But we call every fountain drink Coke. And when the waitress comes to the table, she says, "Would you like a Coke with that?" And we say yes. And she'll say, "What flavor of Coke would you want?" And then you say, "Oh, I would like to have a Sprite or a Dr. Pepper." Everything is Coke. And the first time that I came over here, I said, yes, I had to learn how to say the word soda. I'd like to have a soda, please. Because if I said Coke, I got Coke, and that's not what I would drink. So now we're going to add these onto the pan. And we're going to mix them. You want to make sure you get all of that good sweetness out of there. Oh my goodness. I wish you guys could smell this. I am in the nut shop. Let me tell you something. In more ways than one, but we're not going to say that. Let me move you guys closer so you can see what we're doing. Because we're going to be doing some things in the oven. I'm going to be taking breaks and coming back because the way these things are going to cook. There we go. I think I got you guys where you can see really good. We're going to do them in 10-minute intervals. We're going to set a timer, cook it for 10 minutes. Then we're going to come in and stir them. We're going to get all of that butter incorporated in there. And don't forget your pan's hot because it was put in there to melt butter. So don't grab it without a pot holder, which I almost did. But there was something that screamed in my mind and said, "Don't do it, girl. Don't do it." And I didn't. So let's kind of spread them out. We've got that butter mixed in there. Boy, that's looking so good. Get that all down there. You want to kind of a good even coat across the pan, okay? So I'm going to take my pot holder and we're going to put them in. And I'm going to put mine in on the top because nuts will burn on me. And we're going to put them in there. And then I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes. And then we're going to come back and we're going to stir them. And I want you guys to come with me because it ain't cooking if you guys ain't with me. I'm not happy unless I'm cooking for you guys or my family. But anyway, we'll be right back. Okay, family, we're back. And the timer has gone off. And I wish you guys had smell-o-vision. Now, per instructions, it says to use a metal spatula. So I'm going to set you guys down a little bit and turn you down to where you can watch what I'm doing. I think I got you guys pretty good. And this is hot. We're going to have to go back in the oven for 10 minutes, but we're scraping because you're wanting to get all of that good sweetness that's cooked out of them onto the pan and make it stick to the pecan. That's the secret. Oh my goodness, they smell so good. They smell so good. Okay. Alrighty, I think we've got it good. I think the pan's been scraped. So now let's just take our spatula and kind of layer them back out again. Kind of get them all over that pan. Really good. Kind of get that. That right there's mine. It has lots of sugar. And we're going to go back in with the timer again for 10 minutes. For a total of 30 minutes. So this is our second time. We have one more time that we will go into that oven. So, got it set for 10 minutes. I'm not going to make you guys wait around for 10 minutes. And look at me. And we'll be right back. Okay? Okay, that was our final 10 minutes for our pecans in the oven. So what we're doing now is they've been in there for just a little bit, but the direction says that the last interval in the oven could be 5 minutes to 10 minutes. So I kind of wanted us to just kind of hang out because my oven cooks a little bit hot. And I just wanted to make sure, because you know nuts, when they burn, it takes the flavor out of them. Some people might like burnt nuts, but I don't like burnt nuts. I like them when they're just perfect. Like in a pecan pie, I don't mind if the corners sometimes have a little bit of a burnt nut in it, but I've ate them where the whole top is a little bit burnt, and it gives them a bitter flavor. So we're going to watch these things carefully. I have my oven light on it. And I'm telling you guys, I wish you had smell-o-vision. I had a lady tell me today that she was making some kind of bread, and I can't even remember. I remember it was a zucchini cherry something. And she was talking about how amazing her house smelled, and I was like, oh my goodness. But as I was waiting for these to cook, I was doing a little cleanup around my kitchen, the little dishes. And I was going to put this spoon up, and every time I touch this spoon, it just brings back so many memories. I turned 48 years old in October, and my mother, this is her spoon. And I still have my mother, but she gave me this spoon several years back. And I can remember being a little girl and standing and not even being able to see over the counter, and her making homemade fudges with this, or stirring beans or something. And, you know, back in those days, we were relatively poor. I mean, we were blessed because we had plenty to eat and a nice roof over our head. But my mom didn't have a lot of nice things. I remember she would have like one little knickknack in each room, and we dare not even play near it. But I was just wondering, it made me wonder because I love to read you guys' comments. I love it. I love it. Is there something you have in your house or something that you use this time of year when you're preparing all of these wonderful holiday cookies and candies and meals that maybe was your grandmother's or your great grandmother's, or, and it just brings back a memory? Will you share a memory with me down in the comments? I sure would love it. Maybe it's a new memory. Maybe it's with a grandchild like I had last night with my little chachi-roo. And that was one crazy video. And the old me, the perfectionist me, would not maybe want to put that up because those coconut balls were the size of baseballs, and I really like to put out a good program for you guys. But I'm just going to tell you, they were delicious. And tonight, she didn't get to see the chocolate cake glaze put on them, and I took them over to her, and that was the most excited child that you would ever see in the world. She said, "I made these," and she had them in a little Ziploc bag. And I said, "Honey, please don't jump with those because if they bop you in the head, we're going to take you to the emergency room." Them things were so big. My husband come out with one and he's like, "What, you want one?" And I'm thinking, that's enough to feed a whole family for a week. Them things were so humongous, but she just wouldn't wait for me to let them freeze like I needed to. But it was a video and it's a good memory. Years from now, I'll be able to look back and have her capture at 3 years old at the table. I'm smelling these, so I'm going to take a peek in the oven. Let's see what we've got. I think I'm going to let them go for about a minute and a half more because they're really starting to get brown. And so I have so many things in this kitchen that I have a cake plate over there that belonged to my great grandmother. And it was the kind that used to have the metal lid that went on the top of it. And something happened to the middle lid, but my mom gave me the bottom of it. And I just absolutely love it. And I happened to get a dome. Well, let me go get it and I'll show you while we're waiting on these to cook. We'll just have a little conversation about it. Okay, so me and my mom was shopping in Walmart. And they had this beautiful cake plate right here on clearance for $5. And it has the metal bottom. So, I have a Mikasa glass. And it's Christmas. But it's absolutely beautiful. I had a stand on it. And I wasn't thinking. And I put it in the microwave. And it's come loose. So I have to get some glue. But it's a stand. And then this absolutely fit on the top of it. I don't know, it just gives it something. It just looks beautiful like that, I think. So that's one of my cake plates that I absolutely cherish and love, but that's new. Let me show you the other one. My great-grandmother was one of 6 children, I believe. She's the only one that lived to adulthood. And she was the baby of the family. And she was kind of spoiled. But this was her cake plate. And she gave it to my mother when my mother married my father. And my mom gave it to me. And my grandmother was 90-something years old when she passed away. And she was a young woman when she got this. And she has been gone since I was a teenager. So this is really, 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 really. And it doesn't really matter that it's old. It's that it was her cake plate. She served my grandfather cakes and desserts off of this. So if you guys got anything you would like to share in the comments, share it for me. I'm going to pull these nuts out because I really think these nuts are done because they're smelling so delicious. They're smelling so good. And tonight I won't be able to eat any because I will tell you that anything with cinnamon keeps me up at night. And I don't know if you guys are having problems. If you have problems with having sweets at night, but that's why last night you just saw me take one little tiny bite of that coconut ball. If I'd ate that coconut ball, I would have had to eat a whole bag of Rolaids. It was just the truth. It's not something that's pretty, but it's something that comes along with age. So I'm going to lower you guys down. I'm going to turn this oven off. I took them out about 2.5 minutes early, and I believe they're done. They have a good golden look to them. And let me get you. Okay. So these are done. I'm going to scrape them one more time. Oh, yeah. There's nothing left in the bottom of that pan. All I'm doing is moving nuts. And I know that we're done. Now, the instructions say that we need to leave them setting for a certain amount of time. I'm going to spread these out, and we're just going to put them over here. And let me see what it says over here so that you guys have it. And like I said, I'm going to have your ingredients down in the thing. And I'm always stooping down. That way I don't have to change the camera so much. It says these pecans, it says spread completely cool. And after you have stirred them that time, do not stir them again. Matter of fact, I don't know if I was supposed to stir them when I took them out this last time. I should have read that. So I'm going to tell you guys to take them out of the oven and don't stir them. I don't think that I did anything wrong to them because I had some that were kind of clustered together and it kind of broke them up. And it says, let them set in the pan for 1 to 2 hours without stirring again. So, spread them in the even layer. Oh, you do. You put them out, spread them in an even layer, and then do not stir them again for 1 to 2 hours. So I did right. Okay. And the pecans keep for up to a week, well covered in a cool, dry place. Do not refrigerate. Don't refrigerate these. So they would be perfect for a holiday basket if you're giving a candy basket or a candy tin to somebody, or a candy plastic like me and one of my friends here. One of my subscribers, we were like, we protect our tins. We love people, but they get the plastic containers from Walmart. But we love you. We give you all the goodies inside. Alrighty. I'm going to taste one of these because we don't have 1 to 2 hours. And hello. This oven's way behind. We are done. So I'm going to taste one of these real quick. I'm just going to grab one right here. It's not too hot. They're a little soft because they haven't set up and hardened yet. But the flavor is there. I'm going in the nut business. I am calling in sick tomorrow. And I am going in the nut business. There's a problem with that though. I would go broke because I would eat all of the merchandise. You guys have a wonderful, blessed night. Till next time, I'm Grammy Nay Nay.